Up here, could be doing a continued blind reaction to Elements of Justice. This one's gonna be Case 2, Episode 6, Part 1. Investigation. So check something was going on at the boutique. So as you can see, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong, but it says someone broke in, but I don't see any broken windows or anything, so I guess we're gonna find out. So this one's pretty long, that's why I'm making parts, because I hate it when I'm way over an hour. It's such a pain to go through all the advertisements and whatnot. So, let's find out what's going on. Let's read it. That's right. 1 minute. Alright. Let's see.
Come on, guys! We can't slow down now!
I really regret eating all of those cupcakes.
What?
Why would you
Now
eat so
hold
much
up
sugar?
yourself, Apollo. It's not even that far of a jog.
Thanks for breaking,
Oh, please, I get tired of
Your legs can't run as
running
fast as
only
yours.
for a few
Never mind that.
meters
We're
of
here
running
now.
constantly.
Guard!
Man, how
Surround the
about this
perimeter.
inside that dude?
If you see some pony attempting to leave, stop them and
Getting
let us
older
know.
sucks.
Yes, Princess.
Now, where's Rarity? She has to know what's happening.
I don't know. I don't see her anywhere.
Twilight! Rarity!
How does she appear out of nowhere?
This is awful, dreadful, horrendous. To think I could experience something so barbaric.
Never fear, madam. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is here.
A mutated spider!
Ow!
Be gone with you!
Ms. Rarity.
I'm trying to wonder
Please,
where
you
those
need to
trees
calm
came
down.
from. Because last I checked,
Calm down.
your boutique was like right in the middle of
How in
town.
Equestria can I be calm after... Wait a moment. Aren't you...
There's no time for introductions. What happened here?
Right. I was still worried about my dear sister. So worried, in fact, that I feared I may faint. I returned home in order to decompress. But
Yeah, go to your
after
job
I'd
here.
unlocked the door to go inside, I saw that some pony had broken in.
Or some creature.
This is the most possible thing.
In our world, that's
I happened to
normal.
be nearby when I heard Rarity scream. When I went to check up on her, she told me to come find you guys
Not all my
while
nose
she stayed here.
always itches.
What?
It must be
You
the
shouldn't
glasses
have done that,
or
Rory.
goggles.
What if the intruder had a weapon? You could have gotten hurt.
Well, I couldn't just leave. If I did, they might have gotten away without any pony noticing. And
Okay.
while I appreciate your concern, Apollo, I'll have you know I've gotten into and out of a few scrapes myself.
Oh yeah, with those diamond dogs.
Besides, we're here now. Now, whoever is in that boutique will have to deal with all of us.
Unless they snuck out the back.
Yeah, you've got a point. But you haven't seen anybody leaving yet, have you?
No pony.
Were any of the doors or windows unlocked before we got here? Maybe they managed to sneak out that way.
Yeah,
I always lock all my doors and windows whenever I leave home.
good.
When
Not
I got back
everybody
here,
does.
they were still locked.
Maybe the intruder managed to unlock them with a spare key?
Well, that would be impossible, darling. You see, I have the only key to my residence.
And of course there's
lockpicking
a
would be
gem
out
on
of
it.
the question, since you would have noticed if any of the locks themselves have been tampered with.
Quite so.
But wait, if they couldn't have gotten inside through any of the openings, how did they break in?
Yeah.
I think the answer is quite obvious.
It is.
So,
It's
up
occurred to
above.
you as well, hasn't it, Mr. Wright?
Right. If all the doors and windows were locked, and Rarity has the only key, then the only way some pony could have entered the shop would be through magical means.
I thought there was a
Specifically,
limit.
Teleportation.
Like with teleportation, you need
Yeah.
something has to be open. You can't
gotta
just
be it.
teleport through glass.
Why would some pony break into my shop?
That's how it is with all
Seems to
video
me,
game logic.
The only way we'll figure out why is to
Almost all of them.
investigate the scene itself. Rarity, could you show us in? Of course. If you all could follow me.
I guess the only thing they could steal from her is her clothing or the gemstones.
They must not have
Well.
had time to clean up after themselves. Just look at this place.
It's not that bad.
They knocked over that pony
Better than my room.
mannequin. The poor thing.
Maybe spare some sympathy for whoever just left. Look, that's definitely blood.
Ugh.
Ew,
Don't think
blood all over the
blood would
place.
spill
Yeah.
in my own home.
Wonder if they step on glass
It's
or
not a
something.
whole lot, it's just a few drops here and there.
You think it could be the
Get
perpetrators?
some Coca-Cola.
It seems
That
very
cleared up.
likely.
Oh, wait, no, that
only
was
one
for our
criminal was
outside
here while
bloodstains.
Rarity was away. It must be theirs.
But there's nothing sharp in this room from what I can tell. So, how did they get injured?
Aha! Look,
What are we looking at?
What, Sonata?
Yeah.
it's a bit hard to see, but if you look at the floor closely, there are patches of white fur scattered around.
Whoa! I didn't even see that
Ah.
at all.
Oh, it's probably the
Almost
cat.
complete.
Oh my god!
Peter, you killed it!
Well, you guys relax. He's got 8 more lives. Okay, 7 more lives. 6. 5.
Peter, stop doing what you're doing.
Blend in with the floor.
Wait, I know where these patches of fur came from. They're from...
Opal.
Yep, her.
Where's my kitty?
Poofy
If
cat.
you did anything to my little kitty, I will.
Oh, she...
Oh, bless
Yeah,
it. Oh, thank
one ugly
goodness you're safe.
cat.
Wait.
She probably killed a mouse.
What's wrong? Opal's claws.
Either that or someone trimmed them a little too low.
What?
I think that explains it then. The drops of blood on the floor, the scattered fur, the knocked over mannequin, and the blood on Opal's claws. Put these pieces together and we get a clear picture of what happened.
Cat freaked out.
There was definitely some sort of altercation that occurred here. The intruder must have teleported in, since that's the only way they could have entered.
Or is just the
They
cat
must have
freaking
startled
out?
Rarity's cat. Opal would have attacked them, leading to the intruder knocking over the
Cats
mannequin. against
rarely
her.
attack intruders.
That would explain those bloodstains on the ground and the blood on Opal's claws.
That's why cats are terrible
It seems
guard
to be the
dogs.
most likely scenario.
Or
But,
guard cats.
Of course, that doesn't explain why they would have teleported in.
Maybe they were trying to steal something?
I don't think so, Apollo. I scoured every inch of this floor, and I can say with utmost certainty that nothing is missing.
Really? Does that mean the intruder didn't even teleport in to steal from you?
Either that, or Opal scared them off before they could.
While we're here,
Mr. Wright, is digging through trash some sort of new hobby you've picked up recently?
Yeah, some people like doing that.
no, this is a really relevant investigation technique.
Right.
Anyway, look, see what's inside?
Yeah, a bunch of leaves, vines, branches.
Hmm.
Not exactly the
Is it
kind of
catnip?
stuff that you expect to see in a high-class boutique's trash can.
Most certainly not. That looks like the stuff you'd find in some dingy, horrid place.
Dingy and horrid. Very apt words to describe a place I'm sure we're all familiar with.
The Everfree Forest.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Boss?
This has been bothering me for a while, but I think I now have a possible answer. Do you guys remember what happened the last time we were here?
You
No.
mean with Sweetie Belle?
Excuse me, Sweetie Belle, was it?
Yeah?
Oh, God.
I've been looking around, and I couldn't help but notice that there is something a little unusual in your trash can. An assortment of leaves, vines, and branches. That doesn't seem like the kind of thing Rarity would have collected. Do you have any idea on what that's about?
Suspicious.
You're saying Sweetie Belle did this then?
I don't want to make any rash judgments, but considering what these are, and if we
Yeah,
allow
I'm
ourselves
kinda
to
curious
think
why
Sweetie Belle
she-
put them in the trash
she
at
was in
some
Everfree.
point.
Then that further proves Sweetie Belle was in the forest that night.
What? That can't be true. Scootaloo didn't mention anything about
Doesn't mean
Sweetie
she
Belle
killed
being there.
anybody.
And I don't remember Sweetie Belle ever leaving home.
Well, we were all at Pinky's party that night, so there's no way of knowing what she did until you got back. Which, if I recall,
Yeah, kids
was
are a
very
little
late.
sneaky.
Not to mention that she was refusing to cooperate with us when we questioned her. And the cherry on top is the blood found at the statue. It was hers, so that's at least proof she was in the area.
In that case, we need to get her to talk. She must know something.
The only way
Maybe.
we'll get that to happen is if we gather enough information and evidence to use against
Yeah.
her. By then, she would have to tell us what she knows.
It's settled then. Once we feel like we found enough
I
evidence
don't
to prove
know,
what Sweetie
so
Belle did in the forest,
Surprised how
as
big
well as
the place
why,
is on the
we'll
inside.
speak with her.
Speaking of the Everfree Forest, I just thought of something.
What is it?
That's full of
Hey,
greenery?
Applebloom?
Yes, Athena?
I've been thinking. Twilight said yesterday that you may know more about the Timberwolves. They seem to be a big part of this case, so I'd like more information on them. Are they
They're
normally
3D
aggressive
wood
towards
wolves.
ponies?
Yeah. Well, normally they keep to themselves in the Everfree Forest. Any pony who wanders too far in risks getting attacked by them. Like when my Granny Smith was just a filly, she had to deal with them a whole bunch.
Oh yeah, that one they were making the
There's
zap
a
apple thing.
specific way to scare them off.
A specific way?
Timberwolves don't like certain noises. It messes with their heads and makes them all jumpy and scared. If you make that noise, you're guaranteed to make them
Yeah, you
scared.
get a pan and you
A
hit it.
certain noise? Like what?
Brenna said something about using pots and
Yeah.
pans, so I reckon the best noise to make is a loud clang.
Clangs?
So then the clang that happened in the forest.
It could have been some pony's way of scaring off the Timberwolves.
I'm pretty
There
sure
were
Sweetie
two
Belle did it
clangs that night,
to get
according
out
to Silver Spoon.
so she didn't get eaten.
One of them could have been made in order to scare off the Timberwolves. And we can probably infer that that one was made near the statue, since that's where the Timberwolves were. But
Alright.
where did the other one come from? And why was it made?
I don't know. That's something we still have to figure out.
Again, this is the trial you should be doing, Twilight. Nobody
It
else.
seems like this is
Well,
all we
maybe
can
Rarity.
get from here right now. The police should be here any second to conduct their own investigation.
In which case, we'd better leave so as not to interrupt them.
What should we do now?
Head to Everfree.
I suggest heading to the Everfree Forest. We can probably get in there now that Private Eye's returned from Canterlot.
Applebloom, you should probably head home now. I'd imagine Applejack's worried about you. Yeah, I know. I hope you guys figure something out then. I don't like that Sweetie Belle's still trying to keep stuff from us. It's making me anxious.
Everybody
We'll
has a
figure it
secret.
out, Applebloom.
Yeah, there,
Don't
some
you
people
worry.
like keeping secrets to their graves, so that's all. What?
Huh.
What? Oh, the door finally locked? Unlocked? What? Show any questions.
So this is Froggy Bottom Bog. It's so swampy.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Not now!
Okay.
Well,
I've
that's
lived
the
near
kind
a
of
swamp
place it
before.
is.
It's not
Hey,
fun.
look over there. Is that Poison Joke?
That's
Yeah,
no
it's an
joke.
awful lot of it, too. Careful you don't wander into it, Apollo.
Do it anyway.
Why would I ever
I'm
do that?
curious.
There's no way I'm risking getting a joke pulled on me. What if it makes me lose my voice?
Ah, I see that all of you have made it. Good afternoon, my friends.
Oh, Private Eye!
I'm rather surprised you got here so quickly. I trust you've been making some headway in your own investigation.
Something like that. But it seems like the more we discover, the more
I'm
questions
surprised
we
no
end
one's
up
getting attacked by
asking.
a billion
Well,
mosquitoes.
we should be able to clear up at least some of those questions right now, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have what we asked to see back in the detention center, Private?
I do indeed. However, I believe it would be pertinent to first show you what we've managed to uncover at the bog.
Alright.
What you've uncovered?
Helmet?
Oh yeah, roll
We
guard
found
helmet.
this on some rocks near where the mouth of the river flows into the swamp.
Okay.
As you can see, on the right side, there is a distinct puncture. Does it seem familiar to you?
That's the same spot where the head wound was
So
found
someone
on the body
dumped it
discovered
all
at
the way over
castle.
there.
Precisely,
Wonder why.
Princess Twilight.
Probably trying to get rid of it.
But here's another curious observation.
That's blood.
But whose is it?
Bloody hell.
We aren't sure. At the moment, we are still testing the sample, but it's highly likely it belongs to the victim.
Looks like
That would mean
blue.
the helmet likely
I know
does
it's
too.
supposed to be blood, but without special thing.
How come you only found the helmet? Shouldn't the rest of the armor be around here too?
One would think so, but we haven't found any trace of the remaining pieces. Of course,
Maybe it's in
that
the
may
swamp.
be because we are in Froggy Bottom Bog. This is a deep and dangerous mire, and a variety of deadly
Doesn't
creatures
a
inhabit these
Hydra live in
waters.
one of those?
So dangerous is this area that more than a few ponies have lost their lives. But not just to the monsters.
That's what they get for
If you
horsing
get caught in
around.
the swamp, it is nearly impossible to avoid drowning. We have good reason to believe that the rest of the armor has already sunk to the bottom of the bog, since we couldn't find it anywhere along the riverbed.
I regret asking then.
Oh, I've heard worse,
Take
seen
us up
worse.
here, of all places to train them.
Indeed. And the missing armor suggests that whoever killed Royal Order at the clearing likely disposed of his armor in the nearby river before moving him.
Whoever meaning Sugar Stamp?
Who knows?
Afraid so, yes.
Till we get the truth,
be
this is all
right.
guessing.
Aside from the fact that she confessed, you haven't found any conclusive evidence that proves her guilt.
Except they have found conclusive evidence. That incriminating evidence you spoke of back at the detention center, which you found when you were in Canterlot, could you tell us what it is?
Yes, I am curious too.
Huh? Why does he look
I have a feeling
nervous all of
she
a
was.
sudden?
Sugar Stamp was with
Very well.
her
I
best friend's
suppose I can
husband.
tell you about that. As you know, I had been in Canterlot in order to report all the case's developments to Lawkeeper Equity.
Okay.
After our meeting,
Cheating affair thing.
my team and I tracked Sugar Stamp to her home. After we'd apprehended her, we searched her house for clues. We discovered her mailbag, and inside it, the incriminating evidence itself.
And what was that?
A letter opener. Here.
Ah.
You can see why it is so incriminating.
This is...
Ah, blood.
Blood. Don't tell me.
Ah, looks like she might
both items.
shink them.
The blood belongs to Royal Order. On top of that, the shape of the blade matches the hole in the helmet, which makes this letter opener the murder weapon.
It is incriminating. I still think we need a little bit more info, but yeah, she's not.
This is
It's not looking good for her.
Could Sugar Stamp really have killed Royal Order? The weapon and bag speak for themselves, as does the blood, but...
Hold it! That can't be everything, though.
Trucy!
Come on, Daddy. You know as well as I do that evidence can be planted. All this stuff may tell us how Sugar Stamp may
You
have
could
killed
fingerprint,
Royal Order.
hoofprint
Nothing's
it.
told us why.
That certainly was the case before, yes.
No.
You're telling us you found a motive when you apprehended Sugar Stamp?
I think I might be right.
Not quite, Miss Sonata. I can show you what I mean, but I believe it'll make more sense if we move deeper into the bog.
Deeper? Where to?
The mirror pool.
Ah, we're gonna make some clones of ourselves. It's always fun talking to yourself.
What? Where's the boulder? There was a boulder here. It's gone now.
The one you mentioned yesterday?
Yes.
Yep, that's one big
The
one.
one that I put here to seal the entrance.
Why is there gonna be
No.
flowers on the vines?
Is that it over there?
Vines don't have flowers.
Yes. That's it.
When I first found the cave, it was already open like this. My team and I didn't really think much of it. But if this boulder really was originally on top of the cave,
Then it's just as we thought. Royal Order really did come here to clone himself. He must have been the one to move the boulder.
At any rate, you said you could show us Sugar Stamp's motive, Private Eye.
I did. Right this way, If you would, please.
So it's out here, out at her house? Huh. Weird. Oh, they got some stuff down
this
there.
is the mirror pool. Kinda underwhelming, actually.
I've actually been
What
at
were
K
you
Plus long
expecting?
ago. It's actually
Actual
pretty cool.
mirrors to show up?
No. Yes. I don't know. Something more than just a pool, I guess. This is Equestria, after all. I wouldn't have thought that the name could be so conventional.
I'll ask these fellas. Excuse me, hold on a sec. I'm trying... Hold on a sec. Hey, pal, stop talking while I'm talking, all right? You want a sandwich full of knuckles? Do you? All right, that's it. I'll get Fatty McLoudmouth.
Never mind the naming conventions. Private Eye, what did you want to show us?
Well, my team hasn't uncovered a great deal. I did want to follow up on your earlier request regarding that travel case. We've finished our examination of its contents and have left it here for you to see.
But what does this have to do with showing us Sugar Stamp's motive?
I still think
Have
she
a look,
cheated on
and I
her
believe
best
you'll
friend.
discover what I mean.
With the husband.
Alright. Toothbrush, towel, that same family photo. So far, nothing really all that relevant.
Maybe something on the note
Wait,
or the
what's this?
notepad.
Some kind of letter?
What's it say, Athena?
Dear Royal Order, I really can't begin to express how
Grateful I am for everything that you've done for me. I've always known you were a noble soul, but somehow you managed to just keep surprising me. All those extended stays in Canterlot you've made, just to be with little old me. Oh, it's enough to make
He
a
was
marriage
probably getting the
school.
wrong idea about it.
It's a shame, though. I know you have your duties back home, but still, it hurts whenever you have to leave. I wish you never had to. Our time together, it means so much
Yep, I
to
knew
me.
it. She had
and I
feelings
know
for
it
him, and
means
they
so
did
much to you
something
too.
naughty.
At least I like to think so. But then you had to go home for Hearts and Hoofs Day instead of spending it with me. I know, you can't stay away from them forever. Sometimes you're just too noble for your own good, you know?
I think
But
I'm
I
right.
do hope you don't stay away from me for much longer either. Come see me as soon as you get the chance. I miss you already.
Yeah.
Love?
Sugar Stamp?
Yep, alright.
Stamp?
She fell in love with him. And she shouldn't have.
No way! There has to be some kind of mistake! Royal Order wouldn't... Sugar Stamp wouldn't... Would she?
She's a cheater. They both
There's
are.
more, isn't there?
Probably a bunch of condoms.
Look, it's some kind of journal. It must have belonged to Royal Order.
What's it say?
Looks like only the first few pages have been filled out.
February 10th. Meet with Sugar Stamp.
Someone did it. Someone's very,
February
noteworthy.
11th. Canterlot Library. Research duplication magic. If no success, tell Sugar Stamp I must stay with my family.
Alright.
Oh,
February
I mean,
12th.
if your clone
Locate
does it
mirror
with
pool.
someone, is that technically
Perform
cheating?
cloning spell.
Particularly a good
And
question.
Meet Sugar Stamp at Everfree Forest Clearing, 10:10 p.m.
Private Eye?
Before you ask, yes. We confirmed that the writing in this letter matches Miss Sugar Stamp's, and the writing in the journal matches Royal Order's. I checked and double-checked that one personally.
So this is what it's
Yep.
been all about. This is
Yeah.
what he was trying to do that
Forbidden
night,
love.
and why he had been away from home a lot more than usual.
He was having an affair with Sugar Stamp. Obviously, he
Yeah.
couldn't let his family know, but it looks like he also didn't want to choose between either her or Fair Devotion. And that's why...
He cloned himself so that he could be with
This
them
is
both.
why, if you're gonna visit someone, it should be a person of the same sex. That's when it's, not weird. This is why girlfriends never let their boyfriends hang out with their girlfriends. Because, it's against the rules. That's why when you get a girlfriend, she's gonna go on your Facebook or any other social media and delete all the girls you have
Why
on
would
there.
Sugar Stamp kill him? If he succeeded, wouldn't this have meant she'd be with him forever?
Maybe not even that was enough.
How long do clothes last?
Look at the letter that Sugar Stamp wrote. She sounds kind of possessive of Royal Order. Maybe to the point that she couldn't bear the thought of having to share him with any pony else.
But the clone?
It may not have been
idiots.
Royal Order. Or at least, not the one that Sugar Stamp wanted. The clones aren't perfect. They lack the memories of the original. We can't know now which was which, but
Even if she got to stay with the original, the fact that he cloned himself at all would only serve as a reminder that, when it came down to it, he couldn't choose her over his family. He had to make 2 of himself and give her 1, rather than give himself all to her. And as a result,
Yeah.
she may have killed him.
When she found out he was the clone.
It's strange. I don't doubt my reasoning, but if it's true, why couldn't I detect any of this when we were talking to Miss Stamp earlier? She sure didn't sound possessive or
Maybe
bitter to
she
me.
cloned herself. That's
There's
a
one other item
possibility.
I wish to show you. It's about the anonymous tip that led to Turning Page's arrest.
You mean you have it?
I do. Here it is.
Look, it's in magazine cutouts too?
Really?
What's it say, boss?
It says, Turning Page is the one who killed his father in the Everfree Forest? What?
Private Eye, you said this letter had been under strict examination. Have you discovered who sent it?
Not quite, Miss Sonata. Everything we've uncovered has been circumstantial at best.
Maybe it was Sugar Stamp.
We now have reason to believe that the true killer mailed this to the police in order to frame Turning Page.
No pony saw it being dropped off, though.
I'm afraid not.
It actually would make
It was
sense.
placed
because
outside the
I think he
entrance to
gets
the
out
Ponyville
later.
police station without any pony noticing. It was
Okay.
around 4:45 when a pair of officers brought it in. I
Raise
doubt it could have been there for
questions.
long. We were unsure if it could even be trusted until we started our inquiries.
And that dumb Tiara would be that
Well,
heartless.
Since the letter claimed that Turning Page was
I
in
know
the
she's a little
forest,
brat sometimes, but I don't
we
think she'd do
decided to
something
ask
that evil.
Sakura if he was. She confirmed that she saw him. As you will recall from today's trial, Turning Page was subsequently arrested on suspicion of involvement. When we questioned him,
Man, these are very
he also confirmed
deep
that he was in the
trials.
forest. As a result, we assumed that the anonymous tip was legitimate. And so, Turning Page was indicted for the crime.
But now that Turning Page has been found innocent,
Then the next matter was to discern the true author of this letter. Sadly, we haven't made much progress.
Maybe.
But
I think I'm
But
right. It
because
might
of
be
what
Sugar
you've
Stamp.
uncovered regarding Sugar Stamp, you believe she's the true sender.
it's still circumstantial, but yes. She was in Ponyville on the day the letter was delivered, after all.
That might
Right. That was when she gave Athena and me our badges.
Moreover, if it's true that she killed Royal Order for the reasons you've concluded, then this tip would be her attempt to further punish him for not choosing her over his family. He
Kind
hurt
of a
her,
bitch move, but yeah.
so she hurt his son.
Sins of the father.
That's why exes are called bitches.
it's weird that this tip was made from magazine cutouts. I wonder. Mr. Wright found that magazine in Diamond Tiara's house. I know Private Eye believes Sugar Stamp sent this, but could it have been Diamond Tiara instead? If so, then why?
Like I said, I don't think she's that evil.
The more I think about it, the more I realize how complicated Royal Order's relationships were. His son adored him, but didn't get to spend as much time with him as he would have wanted. His wife had a complicated relationship with him. And now Sugar Stamp. Wait. There's one more relationship at play here, isn't there? Back during the trial.
Can't space out on that.
He certainly was the epitome of a Royal Guards pony.
Oh yeah,
His
she
death
had a
will
husband.
surely
right?
echo a great sense of loss for both his country and those close to him.
Private Eye, I have a bit of an odd question for you.
Oh? What is it,
There
Miss
is no odd
Sykes?
questions here, just questions.
It's just, you knew Royal Order, didn't you? Personally?
That is an odd question. What makes you think that?
When you were talking about what his death would mean during the trial, you sounded far more sorrowful than I'd expect from the lead investigator. And just now, you told us you were the one who checked over the writing in Royal's journal, almost as if you had a personal reason to see to that task specifically. I am almost certain of it. You two were friends, weren't you?
Why keep it a
I'm
secret?
not much for talking about myself, if I'm being honest. But yes, that is correct. Royal Order and I went to the same school when we were foals. Celestia's School for Gifted Unicorns.
Were you that Pegasus's girl,
The same one I went to?
boyfriend? Who she
It would
thought
have
was
been long
dead?
before your time, I would imagine. You were the top of your class, I presume?
Yes. How'd you know?
She
Quite
only became the
simply,
top
it
of her
has to do
class
with your
because
bearing.
of a certain
You carry yourself in a way that
certain
suggests you are
situation.
academically gifted. I carried myself in a similar fashion
Raven, that's
during my
just
school
rainbow
days.
So that must mean you were also a top student.
I was. And Royal Order, though perhaps not always willing to apply himself in his studies as I was, did his best to support me. We became fast friends.
I was pretty good in school.
But, as with all things, our
I don't really
lives
have
changed.
much friends, so I just focused on
We
studying.
eventually had to go our separate ways. Royal Order graduated and went on to become a cadet of the Royal Guard. Meanwhile, I chose to become an apprentice at the Equestrian Bureau of Intelligence, the EBI for short.
The Equestrian Bureau of Intelligence?
It's Equestria's premier intelligence agency, assisting in handling all sorts of criminal activity.
So only
The head
unicorns
of
are
the
allowed?
agency was
That's
actually
kinda
my
racist.
mentor. He's considered a legendary detective in law enforcement circles. Intensely driven, no other pony I've ever met has matched the sheer scope of his investigative prowess. Working with him was a supreme honor, and perhaps one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Really? Why's that?
Let's just say he didn't earn his legendary status over simple ten-a-penny mysteries and easy detective work. It is barely an exaggeration to say he worked me to the bone to earn my place there at the agency.
You must have been quite busy then. Did you and Royal Order try to keep in touch?
We did, though a law enforcement officer's duty never ends. And though Royal Order's duties frequently occupied him, we both tried to meet up on occasion.
That's
I
kinda
also
how
had the
most
pleasure
guy
of
friends
meeting
are.
his wife, Fair Devotion, a few times,
occasionally talk to each
whenever
other
she'd
every
come
so
up
many
to
weeks.
Canterlot to visit her husband.
Especially when we're
So
busy.
she does know him then.
And when was the last time you saw Royal Order?
That would have been the night he was killed. He'd been in
I don't
Canterlot,
really talk
as
much
you
to
know,
people on social media.
and I caught
because
him just as he
I don't
was
have
heading
much to
home to
talk about.
Ponyville. Of course, I couldn't have imagined what would happen next, but even so, if I had stopped him for even a moment longer.
Don't worry, Private Eye.
Miss Sykes?
We'll bring Royal Order's killer to justice, no matter who that pony may be.
Royal Order was my only friend, really. Both as a child and as an adult. If there's anything
Why did
more
it
I
say
can do to
adult?
help,
You say uncle?
just say the word.
We'll keep that in mind. Stay strong, Detective.
Thank you, truly. And good luck to you all.
Alright. It's not the sound going up.
I suppose that more or less confirms it. Sugar Stamp likely is our killer.
I still can't believe it. She seems so nice. Was it all just one big lie?
Most nice people
Going as
usually
far as to incriminate
have
turning
some
page,
really dark
even if it
secrets.
makes sense.
Like I heard the
She must have
religious girl was all
seriously hated Royal Order,
psychos.
or loved him to the point of hating him.
But what about that anonymous tip? Sure, Sugar Stamp could be the one to have sent it, but it's still highly suspect that no pony saw her do it.
Not to mention it was made from magazine cutouts. I'm sure you noticed it too, Athena.
Yeah.
They reminded me of the one we found in Diamond Tiara's house.
Probably hard to get hoof prints from.
What magazine?
This one. Here, I took a photo of it while we were there.
This is a rather low quality photo, Mr. Wright.
Well, I didn't have a lot of time to take a better one.
More than that, it's impossible for us to tell if the magazine has any cutouts, let alone if they match the ones on the tip.
Maybe it's still in the garbage.
We'd need to obtain the magazine itself.
But doesn't that mean we don't really know who sent the tip? Maybe Sugar Stamp didn't frame Turning Page then.
But that doesn't mean she couldn't be Royal Order's killer.
There's a lot of good
true.
questions here.
What were you all doing at Diamond Tiara's house anyway?
Apologize.
Well, initially we wanted to go over their testimonies one more time to see if we'd missed anything. But they didn't have anything new to say.
They?
Yeah. Diamond Tiara and her friend, Silver Spoon.
Silver Spoon. Ah, you mean the filly who lost a lens from her glasses?
Yeah. Wait. A lens? As in, just one?
You didn't know. The shards found at the scene were reconstructed into only a single lens, meaning the other must have remained intact in the frame.
Huh.
Only one, huh? Silver Spoon didn't mention anything about that in either the trial today or when we went to see her. Maybe I'd better make a note of that, just in case.
Alright.
In any case, we should move on to the clearing itself. We might find some answers there.
Right.
Alright.
Let's get going.
Chip chip chillio, let's go for a walk. There's butt.
Who's that pony over there?
That's her.
I think she's saying something, but I'm not sure.
It's kind of creepy having an
How
eyeball
long
on
has it
it,
been
but
since we were together? I suppose it goes back to our days in the Royal Guard. Fresh recruits, hoping to do our duty and serve.
a guard. Okay.
If things had continued on as they were, I wonder where we would be. Would we have remained a team,
Dramatic.
or were we always destined to walk our own paths? Perhaps we'll never know. Our paths
Someone's going a little
diverged,
too
and you
army-ish.
threw the first stone.
Like it was
Regardless,
video games.
I do know that you deserved much more than this royal order. In your memory, and as lawkeeper, I'll press on with what I must do. I know if you were in
We're
my
really
shoes,
looking at our
you'd do
face,
the same.
or our chin area, aren't we?
Should
She looks very
we let her know that we're here?
Maybe we should wait for her to finish.
I would have
think she
startled
needs
her
some
just for the
space.
fun of it.
No need, Twilight Sparkle. I'm just about finished.
She looks cool. Kind of reminds me of the dot hack sign.
Are you? Equity?
She looks fancy.
Lawkeeper, Equity. And you must be the humans making
La-di-da.
waves across Equestria with your courtroom antics. A pleasure to finally meet you.
Right. Likewise. So, Lawkeeper Equity, what are you doing here anyway?
I didn't realize you needed a reason to privately pay
Sure
respects to one of my fallen soldiers.
Your
Yes.
soldiers?
In addition to my duties as lawkeeper, I'm a lieutenant in the Royal Guard. It's
for
my
you.
responsibility as an instructor to train the guard to serve and
Never
protect the
understood ranks.
princesses. Although, recent events have made me question whether or not they remembered their training.
Royal Order was a member of the Royal Guard, so it makes sense that you would train him.
Not quite. I may have been his lieutenant, but he and I were cadets in the same class.
Okay.
Unlike his fellow recruits, he showed much promise, quickly rising with me through the ranks. If not for his death, he would have made a fine captain.
Wait, he was going to become captain of the Royal Guard?
Isn't that your brother supposed to be?
Brother?
After your brother's engagement to Cadence and moving to the Crystal Empire, some ponytails needed to take up the responsibility of captain.
True.
Royal Order would have been an ideal candidate for that position.
Captain of the Royal Guard.
That's a lot more than just being a member. Why didn't anyone say anything?
Doesn't that contradict what Private Eye and Princess Luna said during the trial? They would have known about Royal Order becoming the next captain, right?
Oh, they definitely knew. They just didn't want to see it.
Yeah, that was rude of them not sharing the info.
There was nothing special about his rank, his title, anything at all?
Well, as a detective, I can only know so much. What do you think, Princess Luna?
It's just as Detective Eye says. As someone who gave the victim his orders, I can say with certainty that there was nothing that set him apart from the other guards in our entourage.
You liar.
They lied. Well, Miss Lettuce is probably more accurate. I don't think he was captain yet, after all. Point is, they knew and they didn't want to tell us.
But
That's
why?
really not.
You all seem to have a
What
great
shit
deal
Luna
of
would
trust
do,
in Private Eye and Luna. It's a shame that they aren't as open to
This is
reciprocating
probably
that
why
trust.
Luna will never be the ruler of Equestria.
What's that supposed to mean?
You should know. From the very beginning, you've been kept in the dark, stumbling your way through this case. Meanwhile, every pony else involved knew more than you. Luna, the judge, Private Eye, even those children. Luna has held all the cards the moment she took on this case. Even during the trial, she played you, guiding you to where she wanted you to go. All this, and she didn't even tell you a word of what she was planning, as if she didn't trust you to defend your clients.
It's kind of a bitch
Don't you
move.
find her actions to be a bit deceptive? Perhaps there's a bit of Nightmare Moon in her still.
Nightmare Moon?
Her demon.
So, the statue. Is this Nightmare Moon?
Yup, back when she was still evil.
Still evil?
Why don't we talk about this another time?
We all have demons in us.
I knew she looked familiar. But what does this?
You don't know? I suppose that's to be
How could she
expected.
not know? She's a
It's not a
freaking human.
story the princesses would have told you.
I think you're long overdue for an explanation, Twilight.
It's a long story.
I know.
They actually have
I'll
really
keep it
good
brief.
YouTube about that. It's a fictional one, but
Long
tell the
ago,
two sisters.
Princess Celestia and Princess Luna ruled Equestria together. Princess
called,
Celestia would raise
Lullaby
the
for
sun,
Princess. I highly
and
recommend
Princess
watching
Luna
it.
would raise
Really
the
good
moon.
music.
Eventually, Princess Luna grew bitter that ponies shunned the night and slept through it,
Yeah.
which led her to refusing to lower the
Lullaby
moon
for
to make way
Princess
for
is
the
a lot funner
dawn.
to watch.
Her bitterness transformed her into Nightmare Moon. When she wouldn't back down, Celestia was forced to banish her to the moon for 1,000 years.
Are you sure it's not 1,000 moons?
That's
Yes.
terrible.
The entire
Having to
show
fight your own
was
sister.
really
But
not
why
talking
are
about
you
years
bringing
or
this up?
months. I was like,
What does
is your
Princess Luna's
calendar?
past have to do with anything?
Luna has a history of furtive activities. Her past especially remains something she is not so quick to divulge. But then again, she's always been less than forthcoming. She walks in the shadows of secrets and subterfuge, weaving an intricate web of knowledge and intrigue only she can access.
You're an
Perhaps
anti-Luna,
she
aren't you?
feels only she can be trusted with what she knows. No doubt you have noticed it, Miss Sykes. The way she has steadfastly avoided telling you anything about herself, the way she has impeded your investigation by refusing to share pertinent details. Does that sound like some pony you can trust? Personally,
I'm
things
surprised
like
Celestia
that make it
wasn't
hard
there. She
to
would've- she
take
would've
her
been more
at
helpful.
her word.
That's not fair to Luna. She's changed since then. And besides,
Yeah.
it's not like she's hiding things to lead us astray. We both want the same thing.
Perhaps. Well, I suppose we all have a past.
I know the
Even
entire fandom
princesses.
loves Luna, but
Wouldn't you
she
say
does have
Twilight
a point.
Sparkle?
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
Oh, we've seen Heat Twice deep before.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Where are you going?
I have business elsewhere. Worry not. I'll be staying in Ponyville to observe the case as it unfolds. It will certainly be interesting to watch your progress.
Alright.
A word of advice. I'd suggest not clinging so tightly to your platitudes of friendship and trusting others so easily. Trust is a very
Twilight
fragile
is the princess
thing.
of magic.
It takes
not
years to
friendship.
build,
That's just something she's
seconds
working
to
on.
break, and an eternity to repair. That betrayal can last a lifetime. But the thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. That may be hard for you to accept given how devoted you are to the notion of friendship. But after today, I'm sure you understand what I mean.
It is
You best
true.
heed my words if you wish
Friends
to continue
do
to
kind of
believe in
backstab each other
these
occasionally.
naive ideals.
I should know that that's happened to me a lot throughout my childhood. That's why I have such trust issues.
She's intense.
But not wrong.
No kidding. With a personality like hers, she makes for a good instructor.
It takes a special kind of pony to take on the mantle of lawkeeper, I suppose. But she isn't the reason why we're here.
We should investigate the clearing once again to see if we missed something. Right, you two? Twilight, Athena, are you two okay?
Huh? Oh,
We're just spacing out.
You look
of the
troubled,
pagan
Athena.
life.
Something on your mind?
It's just what Lawkeeper Equity said about not being so quick to trust others.
Oh, come on, Athena. They're our friends. Princess Luna, Private Eye, the
Are
Cutie Mark
they?
Crusaders.
You just met
We
'em.
all want the same thing. Why shouldn't we trust them?
Because she wasn't wrong about Luna. She's known more about the case than we did from the very beginning, and she wasn't alone in that regard.
Yep.
Private Eye was keeping secrets about Royal Order being the next captain of the Royal Guard. At
Was
the
it
very
relevant?
least, neither he nor Princess Luna intended on sharing that info with me when I asked. Even Scootaloo and Turning Page were keeping secrets from me, my own clients. It's my job as an attorney to defend them, but how can I if I can't trust them?
Case he has?
Are we really all working towards the same goal, or are there more secrets I'm unaware of?
Athena, you're letting her get into your head. Yes, things haven't
She's
been
making
going
a
your
lot
way
of
this
good
trial,
points,
but that hasn't stopped you before.
Yeah, but...
In any case, we can't afford to get distracted right now. Let's try and finish investigating this scene. See if
Not
we
sure
turn
if I
up
can keep
anything.
doing these videos with this,
right.
playing on because holy crap, it's getting pretty damn hot in here.
Has any pony found anything?
No. Nothing. Doesn't seem like there's anything here.
I'm inclined to agree. We've searched as thoroughly as we could. What now?
Well, we've still got 2 places left to investigate. The statue and Zeccora's hut.
Can't say I'm quite looking forward to that.
Which
It
one, the
may be
statue
best we
or
split
the
up for
hut?
now, so that we can cover the most distance. Sonata, why don't you, Apollo, and Trucy head to the statue and investigate from there?
We'll do just that then, Mr. Wright.
Besides, if you see
Meanwhile,
red blood,
Twilight,
just
Athena, and
say
I
it's
will head over to Zeccora's. You two okay with that?
I am.
Also, real life ponies can't
Yeah,
see
me
red.
too.
All right. We'll rendezvous at the detention
what
center and
scientists
compare
say,
notes
anyway.
then.
I did find out interesting that chickens, they
I
actually
know I
see
said
more
I'd put
colors
it out of my
than we do.
mind, but
I saw that
Equity?
randomly on Facebook.
I
Like,
heard
really?
it in your voice just then. It wasn't just distrust, there was anger. Bubbling, seething anger. But also pain. Why?
Did she have feeling? God damn, how many chicks are into him? Still a cool house. I tried making a Minecraft house
Hey,
like
Twilight, look at that.
What is it, Athena?
Maps?
The letters in Zikora's mailbox? They're all gone.
Oh,
I guess she managed to finally bring them in. Which means she's inside right now.
I always knew we'd end up back here. But even though the door is just within reach, why does it feel like it's so far away?
Athena?
But, boss?
It's alright. I'm sure Zikora won't hold this against you. She doesn't strike me as a creature that'll hold a grudge.
Right, yeah, it's just... It still bothers me what happened. What I did.
Well, it'll keep bothering you until you get this over with, don't you think?
Yeah, you're right. As always, boss.
Knock on the door.
Okay. Here goes.
Knock on wood.
Zikora? It's, us.
Be specific.
How nice to see you all come by. Please, come in, and don't be shy.
Like Fluttershy.
Zikora,
Your purpose for coming, I feel I can tell. Investigating the arrest of Sweetie Belle?
I can't imagine how many times the actors
How'd you know?
The news was spreading as I left the courtroom. What other reason was I to assume?
Actually, there was one other reason.
Me too. Really wonder.
Zikora, I wanted to apologize again.
Before they did the...
I mean, I know I already did, but I still feel awful, and there's no way I can ever make it up to you.
Athena shouldn't be the only one apologizing.
They probably did.
Twilight?
Zikora, I knew what Athena would be forced to do during the trial, but I didn't go further to stop her. If I had, you wouldn't have been accused. I was too scared. And for that, I'm sorry.
This is why you
Even
need to
so,
increase that
it really is my
self-confidence
fault
here.
that it happened.
But then I'm
I
on
jumped the
top.
gun when I shouldn't have, and...
Enough! What you had done, I can plainly see, came from your wish to set those fools free. Let's not permit our breaths to waste away on what was done in haste. My forgiveness you have already earned. Is this now not a lesson learned? I need no gadget to tell you're surprised.
I'm so kinda disappointed we
Did you
didn't get
think
to
you would
see
be
her
further
homeland or
chastised?
more of her
It's just...
species.
Well, I guess I was expecting you to still be furious with me.
No,
Especially
if
since
they all
Princess
ran,
Luna was
it was
beyond
incredibly
angry at what I did.
Her reaction was certainly strong, of course, but rage at you might not be the lone source.
You mean, there's more to her reaction? So Princess Luna's hiding even more things from us? More motives? Than what Equity said earlier. But what about Zikora? Wait. Maybe I should ask her about that letter.
Luna's just keeping a secret so she can prove that she's spirit or something.
Could you show us the letter that Princess Celestia and Princess Luna sent you the other day? The one we confirmed to be from them in court?
I'm sorry, but sharing that letter now would be something the law will not allow. It was intended for me alone. I doubt this request they would condone.
Right. I should have expected it wouldn't be that easy. They,
just like with
no
everybody
doubt,
else's
the
mail,
princesses.
you really
But
shouldn't
what
show
could be in that letter?
It's
And why
personal.
does not knowing bother me so much?
Bills and all that.
If you
crap.
don't mind,
You
Zikora,
don't
we'd
want
like to ask
people
you a
knowing
few
about
questions
that.
regarding this case. It may help us in defending Sweetie Belle tomorrow.
Please ask whatever is on your mind. I'll do my best to respond in kind.
For
Can you
starters,
talk
is there
normal for
anything
once?
that you haven't already told us? Anything that might shed light as to what really happened?
I'm afraid that apart from what I said in court, there is nothing else I can report.
I expected as such. It was a long shot after all.
Though, well, relevant or not, I could not say. I was searching for flowers at the bog that day.
The day of? So it must have been when you were searching for rare seeds.
If you were at the bog, does that mean you went near the mirror pool's entrance?
Indeed, for often at that spot, I can find day bloomers, the flowers I sought.
Okay.
Day bloomers?
They are flowers whose petals appear whenever daybreak is drawing near.
Oh, those things were on the
The
vine.
cave. Was the boulder removed when you got there?
It would be hard not to notice a missing rock. No, the entrance still bore its primitive lock.
That makes sense.
Okay.
And it was later removed by royal order when he went to clone himself that night. It all lines up.
There is another thing I should say. I found something missing from my home today.
Missing?
A healing potion to be exact. In my cupboards, it is usually packed.
Maybe you didn't know.
Could it have gone missing prior to the incident?
No, I am certain it was here. On the day of the murder of that, I am clear. Before I left,
Maybe
I checked my floor shelf and saw the potion there myself.
And you haven't returned to your hut until today, because you were being kept at the police station as a witness for the trial.
That means the potion could have gone missing any time after you left to follow the kids.
Was there evidence of a break-in?
I used no lock to secure this place. Any pony could enter and leave with no trace. But though the Everfree is home to many a beast, they wouldn't break into my home at least.
Was this a powerful healing potion? I know you've made a few with Apple Bloom before.
It is quite strong as you supposed, but can only mend while the wound remains closed.
A closed wound? I'm assuming you don't mean stitches, but how else could you hold a wound closed?
Maybe
A tourniquet would be one way, though others could work, it's safe to say.
Wait a second, that shape!
Boss?
Athena, let me see that forensic flashlight again.
Huh?
You mean kind of like how that one pony had that little thing around his head?
Aha. So that explains it.
Oh, Sweetie Belle
Explains what, Phoenix?
I think I know what Sweetie Belle's been hiding, but we'll have to confront her about it at the detention center. We should head there as soon as possible, before visiting hours are over.
Right. Let's get going. We'll meet up with the others, then head to the center afterwards. Sakura, you've been a tremendous help.
So Sweetie Belle injured her.
You're welcome.
Little heifer.
I wish you
That
all
she
the
managed
best.
herself and used the potion.
But Athena,
Gotcha.
for you I have one final request.
Yeah, Sakura?
Please let accusing me weigh you down no longer. If you cannot move on, you will never get stronger. Not just for yourself, but every pony you've met. You mustn't let your goals be eclipsed by regret.
That isn't we should all follow.
I'll try to, Sakura.
'Cause I'm still holding a grudge against a kid in middle school. I will never let that go. And pause right here. Because holy crap, my butt hurts like some gun. But then I've been sitting here watching like the new God of War and Ragnarok. I'll never play those games, but I highly recommend watching the cinematic. One from Gamers Playground or something. They are good, fun to watch. But man, it's like fun. Each one is like several hours long, and he's made like 5 episodes. So holy crap, that's a long game. But mostly it's just fetch quests. It's like, really? This is what the game's going to be? At least it's not like the older ones where you see a crap ton of nudity all the time. It's like, hey, go get to the action, get that. See, all uncensored stuff. Well, I know this is an adult game, but come on. But anyway, it looks like it's getting a little bit better. And the elements of justice. Probably finish 6 up tomorrow. Tomorrow or the next day, somewhere around. So, yeah, besides that, have a nice day.